module is tightly integrated with banking because every payment you make here affects your cash flow and needs to be reconciled. Inventory. When you buy stocks from a vendor, your inventory levels go up. Reports. All these expenses feed into your profit and loss statement, your tax reports, and more. So this isn't an isolated module. It's part of a chain. And Zoho Books is great at tying that chain together seamlessly. Before we jump into the demo and concepts, I want to highlight a challenge that businesses face when they don't use a proper tool like Zoho Books. Lost paper bills or Excel sheets scattered everywhere, delayed payments to vendors and broken relationships, overpaying or double paying due to lack of tracking, no visibility into who owes what, when, and how much. Zoho Books solves these issues by keeping everything centralized, structured, and audit ready. All right, that sets the stage. Let's now roll up our sleeves and start with part one, vendor management. I'll show you exactly how to add vendors in Zoho Books, configure GST or TDS settings, and manage their profiles so that your purchasing foundation is strong and reliable. Let's move into the part one of the session, vendor management. This is the starting point of your purchase process. Just like we have a customer master to track sales, we need a vendor master to track who we are buying from, what we owe them, and under what terms we deal with them. So let's ask the most basic question. Why do we even need a vendor module in our accounting system? Think about it. A business doesn't just run on customers, it also runs on vendors. You buy goods from wholesalers, you hire freelancers or service providers, you pay rent to your landlord, you subscribe to SaaS tools. All of these are your vendors. Without a structured record, you might miss bill payments. You might forget vendor GST numbers when filing taxes. Or worse, you might lose out on early payment discounts or pay the wrong amount. Now, I want to ask you a question. Can anyone here name two or three types of vendors your business deals with regularly? Just shout it out or drop it in the chat. Now, okay, now let's break down what exactly is included in a vendor profile inside Zoho Books. This is much more than just a name and number. Each vendor record can store the official business name, PAN, and GST-IN, their contacts person detail, phone and email, address and location, payment terms, like net 15, net 30, default tax preferences like TDS category or GST treatment, currency in case you buy internationally, preferred expense account to pre-fill during your billing. And what's really useful is Zoho remembers all purchase history for each vendor. So the next time you reorder from the same vendor, it's super quick. Now let's walk through how to add a vendor manually in Zoho Books. If you have access to a sandbox account, feel free to follow along. Now, before I give you a demo, I would love to tell you that I do have two Zoho Books accounts with me here. One is a US-based account, and the other one is an Indian-based account. Now, why am I using an US-based account is that because I've been using it for practice, and this Indian Zoho Books account has been recently set up, and I haven't set it up properly. That's why I won't be able to use it fully. So I would be moving to this Zoho Books account, which is based on US. But you would be able to see that most of the things are same here. Let's start. Purchase, drop down, vendors, and then you need to click on here, this add. With that, you can see new vendor. Now, you need to decide whether you're buying from a company, and if it's not a company, you just need to mention the contact of that person. Let me add the company here. Let's write it as AG. Uh, let's name it as REM Beauty. REM Beauty Ltd. And let's write the primary contacts as Miss Ariana Grande. Then you can add the email address and you can add the phone number. By the way, REM Beauty is a real company. I'm just using it for demo. And then you can mention other details up here. For example, what is your opening balance with this vendor? What are the payment terms that you have set up with this vendor? For example, net 30. You can enable the portal here as well. Can determine the language of this portal. And at the same time, you can allow tracking for Form 1099 payment. Address. In the earlier session that we saw for our customer master, billing address and shipping address, same here, this is same. This is your billing address for vendor. And in case shipping address is different, you can mention it up here. In case they both are same, you just need to copy it. Contact person refers to all the other people that are there in this organization. For example, let's add Frank. Let's add his name to be Junior. And I can add his email address, work phone and email. That would be other person that's part of the organization, and we can connect with him as well in case we are not able to connect with Miss Ariana. Then I just need to save it. With that, I have created a new vendor up here. And I think I'm able to explain you what primary contact means, what company names mean, and how do you select display name. Because we have done it in the earlier session as well. Email address, phone, and all the other details that you need to fill up. So with that, I think we can proceed now. Does any one of you have any doubt here right now before I proceed further? I would love to solve them right now. Okay, so I would be moving that. My suggestion for you guys would be, please try yourself as well, creating a new vendor. Okay, let's move forward then. Vendor profiles are where Zoho starts applying tax logic. If you're in India, you must tag each vendor with their GST treatment, regular, composition, or unregistered. You also need to apply TDS category. This will ensure TDS is auto-calculated when you raise a bill, as it was here in this Indian Zoho Books account for this Indian company. Dividend here. For example, if freelance designer you pay more than 30,000 a year, that's 10% TDS under professional fee. Here. If you are in the US or EU, you will configure sales tax zones. Zoho supports Avalara integration for auto tax if needed. So the key thing is Zoho takes care of all this tax compliance in the background once the vendor master is set up correctly. Before we move on, let's go over a few best practices for vendor management. Always collect and verify vendor GSTIN or PAN at onboarding. Don't wait till tax filing time. Assign realistic payment terms. If your average payment time is 30 days, don't put net 7. Attach contracts or agreements inside the vendor profile. Zoho allows file uploads. Review your vendor list every quarter. Archive inactive ones to keep your book clean. And my favorite tip, set email reminders to notify you a few days before vendor bills are due. Zoho can handle this automatically. Okay, then we would be moving to our second part, that is recording purchases. Let's now move into a very practical and critical section, recording purchases in Zoho Books. As a business, every time you buy something, whether it's office chairs, raw materials, or software subscriptions, you're making a purchase. But simply paying for something isn't enough. For your account to be accurate, that purchase must be properly recorded in your books. So let's understand how this works inside Zoho Books and how you can go from purchase order to a bill and then to a payment, all in a smooth and traceable manner. Imagine this. You place an order with your supplier for 100 units of packaging boxes. That's your purchase order, an official confirmation from your side. The supplier delivers the boxes and sends you an invoice. That's the bill. You later pay the invoice. That's the payment. So it's a three-step cycle: purchase order, bill, payment. Now, some businesses skip the purchase order and directly create a bill. That's totally okay. Zoho Books support both approaches, but having a purchase order helps with clarity, especially if approvals or advanced planning are involved. Let's go step by step in Zoho Books now. Number one, creating a purchase order. You'll go to the purchase tab on the left panel, click on the purchase order, and then plus new. You'll see a form that looks quite similar to an invoice. Here's what we're going to do. Select the vendor first. Okay, so I'm going to take this one only, REM Beauty Limited. Then I'm going to mention the order date up here that I think it has generated automatically for me, but you can do it yourself as well. Then I need to add my items up here. I'm going to take a demo item from here. Let's take this one. And let's remove this one. Then I need to enter my rate, quantity, and tax. For example, let's take its quantity to be 5 and its rate to be 500. Let's take tax to be VAT 5%. And then it can show me the amount, the total amount up here. You can add a note here as well, such as what are your delivery instructions or payment terms. For example, let me mention it as net 15. Oh, sorry, it's here net 30. Let's mention it as net 30 only then. Or you can mention it here in terms and conditions as well, whatever you would love to use. Then what I need to do is that I can either save it as a draft or I can click for approval. And from here, it would be directly sent to REM Beauty Limited. Let's for the moment save it as a draft, save as draft. And now you can see that it has been saved as a draft. And I can mark it as issued. Okay. Second, converting the purchase order into a bill. Once your goods have arrived and you receive the invoice from your vendor, it's time to create the bill. Now, here's the magic. You don't have to start from scratch. Inside the Zoho Books, go to the purchase order. Okay, I'll go to purchase order here, and then I click on the relevant order. That is this one, REM Beauty Limited. And then I'll see a button here, convert to bill. I just need to click on it. Zoho will carry forward all the item details from the PO to the bill, including vendor, items, taxes, and terms. This is going to save us a ton of time and eliminates duplication. Once converted, I can enter the bill number from my vendor. For example, the bill number would be 334455. I can set my bill date and my due date as well. Okay, let's take it as net 30 only. And here I can attach a copy of the bill and invoice that I have received from my vendor. And then finally, I can save it. I'm going to save it as open for now. Okay. So with that, from PO master, no, sorry, from purchase order, I have created a bill. Number third, recording the payment. Once the bill is in the system, that is up here, let's say it's due in 30 days. Zoho will start tracking it under payables. Now, when you're ready to make the bills, go to purchase. Okay, purchase, and then I'll go to bills. Click the bill I want, this one. And then I can hit and record the payment up here, record payment. Now, the thing is here is that I can make a full payment, I can make a partial payment, or I can even make multiple payment modes, like part via bank transfer and part in cash. I can add a reference number here as well. That can be a check number or UTR. Can select the bank account from here and add payment notes for internal tracking. Once it is saved, Zoho links this payment to the bill and mark it paid or partially paid based on the amount. Okay, let's try to do this. So here, let's not pay it in full. Let's just pay here 625. If there are any bank charges, I can apply it here. Let's take my payment mode to be cash. Payment date, let's take it as it. And yeah, let's take it to be, let's take it as petty cash only, because since I'm giving you a demo, and we can save it as paid. See, now you can see the status. Since we haven't paid it fully, that's why it's coming out to be partially paid. One more thing that I can do here right now is that, let's make another payment, and this time we would pay fully, whatever amount is left. Let's take it 2000, and this time I'm going to take it as a bank transfer paid through SBI, payment made on. Let's take it to be 12 only, and I would be saving it as paid. See, now it's showing me that this bill has been paid and showing me the amount that has been deducted from this bill. And now my due balance is 0. Okay. Now I'm going to ask you another question. Think of a time when you or your team couldn't reconcile vendor payments because bills weren't properly recorded. How much time did that take to sort out? Hours, days. Recording purchases properly eliminates that chaos. Now let's quickly talk about bill numbering. Zoho lets us auto-generate bill numbers or enter them manually. It's important to ensure bill numbers don't get duplicated, especially if we are importing or dealing with multiple vendors. Zoho also allow me to track my due dates and even enable payment reminders for vendors, bills. Yes, not just for customer invoices, but bills as well. For that, what we need to do is that go to settings, and then once we are able to reach settings, then I need to go to reminders. And here in bills, I can set my payment reminder. For example, reminder will be sent. Let's edit it. Reminder will be sent 3 days before bill due date, and then I can save it. Okay. And then you can set the email whom you want to email to whom that email would go, and then you can save it. Now, the reason that I'm not able to do this is because since this is a setup account, a demo account, I won't be able to access a lot of features up here. But I promise for those of you that do have the access can very well do it. Now let's talk about the status of all these bills. We can filter our bills by status. For example, if it's saved as a draft, if it's sent, partially paid, paid, or overdue. This would give us a clear view of where our liabilities stand. To summarize what we've covered in recording purchases, purchase life cycle, PO from PO to bills, from bills to payments. How to reduce manual errors and duplicate entry, importance of attaching documents, partial and split payments, auto reminders, and payable tracking. You can give me a thumbs up emoji in the chat if you now feel more confident recording purchases in Zoho Books. If you feel, otherwise, I'm going to proceed within the next 5 seconds. Okay, now that we've covered how to record purchases through vendors and bills, let's shift our focus to another critical area of business finances, expense management. While purchases typically come from vendors and result in bills, expenses cover a much broader range of financial outflows, from software subscription to employee travel, office supplies, and even that late night pizza for your team. In Zoho Books, an expense is any business related outflow that does not necessarily go through a vendor bill. It can be a one time or recurring cost, and it could be paid in cash, by card, or even reimbursed later to an employee. Let's break it down into types of expenses you might commonly face: internet charge, Uber or taxi fares, monthly rent, cleaning services, software session like Canva or ChatGPT. Let's go into Zoho Books and see how this looks. Navigate to expenses and then click on new. What are the fields that you need to fill? Your date, expense account. Expense account would help us in categorizing this expense. For example, let's take this one as meal and entertainment. Then I do need to enter my amount here. Let's take it as 50, then paid through. That how did I paid this amount? Let's say I paid it through SBI. Then you can mention the tax year, your vendor as well, and your reference. Reference number is an optional field, which could be the receipt number or internal code. Though notes is not necessary, but according to me, it could be very useful to give just a short note for context. For example, since it's meals and restaurant, I can mention that uh, restaurant bill at Atlanta. I haven't given the full detail, but somebody in the team might be able to remember. Okay, so this is a bill, restaurant bill from Atlanta. They might be able to remember that, okay, we went for an outdoor, we went to eat outdoor. Then I just need to press on save. And with that, I have created an expense. Think of this as your digital petty cash register. Every little cost, if logged properly, helps you keep the books squeaky clean. Let's take a pause here. I want you to think of a real world expense from your business or job that you pay every month. Got one? Type it in the chat. Just a word or two, anything. Now I'm going to talk about bulk importing expenses. Now, imagine if you have 100 expenses to enter at once. Maybe you're migrating from another software or Excel sheet. Zoho makes this easy with bulk imports. Navigate to expenses here, then you need to go here. Click on these three dots, import expenses, and then you need to download this sample CSV file. Then click here. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Yes. Are you guys able to see it? Here, you just need to enter the details for your bills. For example, the entry number, the expense date for that bill, how did you make that payment for that bill, the vendor, the expense date, expense description, currency, exchange rate, expense amount, is it billable, customer name, reference, project name, etc. Not every field is mandatory here. Some of them, though, are mandatory. You just need to make sure that you just need to make sure that those fields that are important, for example, your expense date is important, expense account is important, paid through is important. Make sure to please do fill them. Otherwise, for rest of them, project name, if you're not using them, there's no necessity to you're not required to fill it. Okay. So once you're able to fill your Excel, fill all the expenses, then what you need to do is come back here. And then you need to choose the file and you can upload your Excel up here. You can make some tiny changes and that would allow you to save it up here. With that, I think I have talked about expenses. Now I'm going to talk about another very interesting thing, that is recurring expenses. Now comes the magic of automation, that is recurring expenses. Do you pay rent every month, or do you have a monthly Zoom or Razorpay Pro subscription? Instead of entering this manually 12 times a year, why not tell Zoho to do it for you? Navigate to navigate to purchases, recurring expenses, and click on new. Now I'm going to tell you about the key fields. Profile name is what you're going to name your recurring expenses. For example, weekly restaurant bill. It's going to repeat every week. You can determine and for this bill, or you can either set it as never expires as well. Let's take the expense account, meals and entertainment. Let's take the amount to be $50. Tax, it's not compulsory. Paid through SBI. Vendor, it's not compulsory. You can fill it, but I'm not filling it right now. And you can add the note. That is weekly outdoor business dining. Business dining. And you can save it. See, with that, I have created a recurring bill, that is weekly restaurant bill, that is $50 every week. Now, there is very interesting thing about these recurring bills is that you can see them whether they are active or you have paused them. For example, let me take this one. I can stop my bill here and you would see its status has been changed. Or either if I decide, I can resume it again. Or if I want to delete a recurring bill, I can delete it as well. Now, to my audience, do you currently track any recurring expense manually? Imagine the time saved if Zoho could do this every single month. No calendar, reminders, no skipped entries. Now, some best practices for expense management. Always attach receipts. Make audit, it's going to make audit trails very cleaner. Number two, categorize properly, ensure accurate reporting in profit and loss. Third, avoid using miscellaneous too often. It becomes a black hole for unknown costs. And number four, set up recurring expenses for any fixed cost items. All these expenses reflect instantly in your profit and loss statement and cash flow report and profit and loss. And I can filter it according to my expenses. For example, meals and entertainment, office supplies, tax paid expense, travel expense. I can come here and see them. See, you can see that meals and entertainment SBI. Though it's not showing me the category, but it's one of the 50 that I just entered recently. To summarize part 3 expense management, use manual entry for ad hoc or physical costs. Use bulk import when migrating or logging many entries. Use recurring expenses for anything fixed like rent or subscription. Categorize smartly and attach receipts always. And remember, accurate expense tracking is what helps you generate accurate reports, which is essential for both business insights and tax filing. All right, in the next section, I'm going to dive into vendor credits and see how to manage discount, return, and overpayment in a clean and audit-proof way. If any one of you right now do have any sort of doubt, you can ask me right now. I'll be proceeding within the next 10 seconds. All right, everyone. So far, we've learned how to manage vendors, record purchases, and log various expenses. But what happens when you return some items to a vendor, or they give you a discount after invoicing you, or you accidentally paid more than what was due? That's where vendor credits come into the picture. Let's begin by understanding what vendor credits actually are. Vendor credits are like refunds or balances owed to you by your suppliers. They are used to record any money the vendor owes you due to return goods, discounts, or accidental overpayments. Here are the three most common scenarios where vendor credits are used. One, return goods. You ordered 10 printers, but two were defective. You return them. Second, post invoice discount. A vendor gives you a rupee 500 discount after sending the invoice. Third, overpayment. You accidentally paid 1500 rupees, 15,000 rupees instead of 13,000 Indian rupees. All these situations create a credit note or vendor credit in your books. Another question I'm going to ask you, has this ever happened to your business? Have you ever returned something or been issued a discount by a supplier? Now I'm going to show you how we record a vendor credit in Zoho Books. Navigate to Purchases, Vendor Credits, click on New. You need to select your vendor first. Let's take it as REM Beauty Limited. You can auto generate a credit note or can generate it manually. Let's enter the date for it. Uh, July 25. Items or service that you're returning. This one. Let's say I'm returning four of them and their rate was 500. Yeah, their rate was 500 and tax here was VAT 5%. In the notes, you can mention the reason that why you're refunding it. For example, return two printers or discount after negotiation. Then you can either save it as a draft or save as open. I'm going to save it as open. A pro tip for everyone up here, Zoho Books allow you to apply this vendor credit to future bills from the same vendor or record a refund if they transferred money back to your account. This makes it very easy to avoid duplicate payments or misstatements in accounts payable. Now, applying vendor credits to bill. Let's say you received a bill from a vendor, but you had a vendor credit of that much amount. Okay, let's show you. I'm going to show you how you can do this. This is going to take me not that much time. Let's take it as REM. Let's save it this number as 112233. Bill date. Let's take this amount as same. Okay. Select the item from here. This one. Uh, let's say it's 616. Okay. Anyway, let's take it to be 500. Select the tax here, VAT, and then you can save it as open. Now the thing is that I have already created a vendor credit up here. Let me show you. This one for REM Beauty Limited, I have already created this one. I can apply it to my bill here that I have recently created. This one. I need to go here. Let's see. This one, I think. Yeah, use credits if I'm able to. See here. Either I can select the full amount or that depends on me that how much I want to apply. Let's take it to, as full only. That is 100 and save it. And you can see that I have applied the credits. Now the balance that is due is 6,300. So that is what credit notes actually help you. These vendor credits. Whenever you've been returned or credit has been issued to you, you can record them up here. And next time, whenever you receive a bill, you can apply that credit up here. Let's walk through a quick scenario together. Imagine you run a digital printing business. You order 100 reams of paper worth 20,000 from green leaf suppliers, but upon delivery, 10 reams are damaged. You return them and get a vendor credit of rupees 2,000. What would be the next step in Zoho Books? Record a vendor credit for 2,000 under green leaf suppliers. Second, when the next bill is raised, apply the 2,000 credit. Third, if green leaf refunds the money instead, record it as a vendor refund. You can view vendor credits in, go to reports, then you need to go to payables. Let's see payables. Okay, payables here. And yeah, here you can see in these report vendor credit details. This is especially useful when closing the month, you can check how many credits are still unapplied and follow up with vendors if needed. To summarize vendor credits, they are used when vendors owe you money due to returns, discounts, or overpayment. You can either apply them to a future bill or record them as refunds. Keep them organized to avoid duplicate payments. Always monitor vendor credit reports as part of your end of month process. All right, in the next section, that is petty cash and reimbursement in Zoho Books, I'm going to talk about petty cash and invoice reimbursement. Not every transaction happens through your bank account. Let's explore how to handle those small but frequent expenses that tend to pile up. Now, I'm giving you another 10 seconds. If any one of you have any question here right now, feel free to ask me. Then I'm going to proceed further. Can I get a quick show of hands or maybe just a few yes in the chat? How many of you have ever bought office snacks, paid a courier boy, or quickly picked up printer ink using company cash or your own money? These are petty expenses. They are too small to go through formal procurement or bill processing, but still need to be tracked, both for accounting accuracy and for employee transparency. Think of petty cash as a small wallet or fund in your organization, usually used for minor day to day expenses. It's not meant for regular or large purchases, but, and here's the catch, if it's not managed well, these small accounts can add up to big confusion. Zoho Books allow you to manage petty cash just like any other financial account. Step one, add a petty cash account. Go to settings and charts of account. Here, chart of accounts in accountant, sorry. Let's see if I do have a petty cash account here already. See, you can see that I do have already have a petty cash account up here. Now, for those of you, they can create it from here. New. You need to select the account. Sorry, the account type as. Wait a minute, huh? Expense. And let's see if I can get another car. You need to go to, wait a minute, huh, guys? Let me just do it one more time for you. Okay, so here in the chart of accounts, you need to go here. Then if you don't have, click on new. Your account type here would be cash. It would be cash. And then the account name would be petty cash. Petty cash. And then you can save it. Then you can enter account code up here and then save it. Since I do already have a petty cash, that's why I'm not going to use it. This creates a dedicated ledger where you log all petty cash activities, withdrawals, payments, and top-ups. Fund the petty cash. Go to banking. Let's go to banking now. We're going to fund this petty cash. And then we need to transfer fund. Let's transfer our funds from here. This one is our main bank account. Let's add a transaction up here. Transfer to another account. Yeah, let's add it to our transfer. Yeah. Let's take it as to be petty. Yes. And then you can enter the amount up here. Like for example, it's $10 only. No, no, sorry, it's reporting tax. I need to save it in amounts here. Then you can enter the amount here, $10. Wait a minute. Yeah, 10 here. And then you just need to save it. This mirrors physically withdrawing cash from the bank. You're not spending yet, you're just moving money. Then you need to go to expenses here. Wait a minute. Expenses. Click on new and just quickly like mention up here. For example, it could be your rent paid through petty cash. Let's choose this one and let's mention the amount up here, 10. And then you can save it. Every time someone buys something with petty cash, record it here. You're tracking outflows and also preserving documentation. A pro tip for everyone here, expense categories do matter. Even for petty cash, categorize each expense properly. It's tempting to lump them all as miscellaneous, but doing so makes reporting vague. Was 200 spent on office decorations or cab fare? You need that clarity. Proper categories makes your profit and loss report clean and insightful. Now let's switch gears to reimbursement. These are expenses employees pay from their own pockets and then claim back. Example, your salesperson goes to Delhi for a meeting and book cab for 800. He later submits a receipt and asks for that money to be reimbursed. Two ways to handle reimbursement in Zoho Books. Option one, Zoho expense integration. Best for medium to large teams. Employees submit digital claims. Managers approve and send to Zoho Books for payment. Option two, manual reimbursement inside Zoho Books. Suitable for small teams or occasional claims. Here's how to record it manually. Go to expenses and new. Choose the expense account. Let's choose the expense account here. Let's choose it as travel expense. Let's choose it as 80. Let's select an account, for example, SBI. And here under notes, I can mention my employee name and the reason. For example, let's take John. Sorry, John. John Hotel. Client consultation. Client consultation visit. Client consultation visit. Visit. And then I can save it up here. Then I can save it up here. I'm going to give you another real life example. Let's imagine this together. You gave rupees 300 cash advance to your office admin for monthly errands. She buys cleaning supplies worth 1,600, pays for two courier pickups at rate 400, and return the balance rate 1,000. And here's how you record it. Advance. Record an employee advance via journal or payment. Second, expense. Add two expense entries with receipts, courier and cleaning. Third, return. Record deposit of 1,000 to petty cash. Now your books reflect exactly what happened. No loss, no confusion, and no unexplained shortfall in the drawer. Here's a fun one. What's the strangest or smallest business related expenses you have ever paid for within petty cash? Does anyone want to share that story? Okay, so I'm going to summarize this section as well. Petty caches is for small, quick office spends. Log them properly. Always create a dedicated petty cash account. Reimbursements can be manual or via Zoho expenses. Never skip attaching receipts. Use proper expense categories for clean reports. Now, before I summarize this entire session, any question about how to set up or manage petty cash? Or have you faced real challenges in employee reimbursements? All right, everyone, take a deep breath. That was a full hour packed with critical business processes in Zoho Books. We've just covered everything from vendor onboarding to employee cab fare reimbursement to, I think, their hotel client consultation visit as well. And now it's time to take stock just like we do with petty cash. In section one, vendor management, first, we talked about vendors, the backbone of our purchasing process. Just like we have customers for sales, vendors are the lifeline of purchases. Also, remember, we can define payment terms, contact person, and even assign default categories per vendor. This saves us time later during bill creation. Second, recording purchases. Next, we walk through the purchase life cycle, purchase order, bill, payment. You can skip the PO if your business doesn't require formal approvals, but bills and payments, these are non-negotiable if you want clean books. Third, expense management. Then we looked at expenses, those that don't necessarily go through windows. Also, don't forget Zoho supports recurring expenses and bulk imports. For example, you can set up a 200 per month internet expense to auto post every month, set and forget. Fourth, vendor credits. Ever returned items to a vendor or received a credit note? That's where vendor credits comes in. It's like a mini refund or discount. In Zoho Books, purchases. In Zoho Books, go to purchases, then vendor credits, and then click on new. You can apply the credit to a future bill or record a refund. This ensures your liabilities reflect reality, not overstatements. Fifth, but not the least, and I think it's one of the most important one, petty cash and reimbursement. The lifeblood of day-to-day office chaos, that is your petty cash. Instead of forgetting where that rupee 300 went for courier fee, creating a petty cash account and log all the expenses, even if it's, for example, $5 for your garlic bread, record it. And for reimbursement, remember, either integrate Zoho expense or manually log it under expenses, then reimburse the employee from banking. Now, before I end the session, I would love to open the floor for any questions, whether it's about configuring taxes for vendors, setting up recurring bills, or managing reimbursements. No question is too small and no question is ever too big. You guys can raise your hands or drop it in the chat. I'm going to wait for some time before I would end the session. Okay, so I'm waiting for your questions. Okay, since I think I'm not able to see any hand that has been raised here and no question has been asked, I assume, I think I would be clear. But still, you can ask question before I end this. You can just enter it in the chat. Okay, thank you everyone for your energy and focus during the session. Managing purchases and expenses in the financial engine room of your business. When you get this right, the rest of your accounting flows smoothly. In our next session, we'll be diving into banking and automation, syncing bank feeds, matching transactions, and automating boring stuff so you don't have to do it manually. With that, I would love to end this session right here. And once again, thank you everyone for your focus, for your energy, and for your time. Thank you so much.